how much is it actually affecting workforce participation? Can we even measure that?
It's extremely difficult to measure, but what we do know is that this is a large and growing problem within the American population, and it's probably disproportionately affecting people who are unemployed or out of the labor market. And so that's pretty much what we can say. What we know is it's about 4 million people between heroin and prescription drugs, and that's a pretty sizable number.
Now, this has not been, similar to problems before, so to addiction problems before. This is a lot larger, concentrated in a particular part of the labour economy, right? And that's why we're taking so much notice. It's not that there's never been addiction problems in America, right? It's that this one particular class of people are very affected.
Yes, this is absolutely extremely concentrated among people who are in geographies that have had a really hard economic time. So if you look at a map of manufacturing decline, and then you look at a map of opioid overdoses, they are extremely closely related. And so I think that that's one reason to care about this. It seems to be people who are economically down on their luck who are really suffering from these addiction issues.
Is this receiving widespread approval from the academic community? Remember when Angus Deaton came out with that study that showed that, middle-aged white people were dying at a faster rate than they had been before, and it was probably partially due to unemployment. That got a little bit of pushback. Is this?
So I think that Deaton paper has become sort of the gold standard in research on this topic. And Janet Yellen actually kind of loosely referenced it during her speech last week. And I think that really what we're seeing is that there is something going on with that demographic, this middle-aged, white working class, these people who have seen a lot of jobs disappear. And it's closely interlinked with this prescription drug issue.
Yeah, what can Janet Yellen do? I mean, clearly she wants to do something, but this isn't something that just general QE or bond buying can help with.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So when you look at the Fed's mandate, it's macroeconomic. They don't have a lot of impact or mandate to deal with social issues like this. But I think why this matters for the Fed is that two reasons. A, they have a community outreach branch, and this is obviously a social issue that's also having economic implications. And B, it lowers labor force participation. It matters for how much slack is left in the economy. If these people are totally unemployable, that means that the labor market's tighter.
Yeah, how many tenths of a percent might we be talking about, Jeanna? Has Janet Yellen, even herself, tried to put numbers on this? Because, a large number can still be a fraction of a tenth of a percent.
Absolutely, no. She hasn't, and I think that having just spent a couple of days looking at this data, it'd be risky to do so. We really don't have a great grasp on this problem, and so I think it's an area for further research.